You're listening to the Really Very Crunchy podcast with your hosts, Emily
and Jason. Emily, we're doing it.
We're going to Pennsylvania.
We're going to Pennsylvania.
Is that what you were going to say?
It is. How'd you know?
Because we have no plans for anything else, so. You're
true.
like, we're doing it. Oh,
That's the thing we're doing? Oh, that's it.
Either that or we're renovating our kitchen. Like, I didn't know where you were going with it, but
Emily?
I'm pretty sure you would have said.
We're renovating our kitchen in Pennsylvania.
We have a kitchen in Pennsylvania? I mean, there are
At the Wellness Collective.
There are epic homes for sale in Lancaster area.
I'm kind of interested.
I know. They're beautiful. Beautiful country. Fresh food everywhere.
Yeah.
Amish antiques.
The ticks
galore.
are a little
Sketch.
iffy out east.
That does
I don't
make
know if
me
it is in
nervous.
Lancaster, though.
I don't know either.
Everyone that we know that lives there
Doesn't have Lyme disease.
that we know of. And
They didn't disclose.
I mean, they could, I guess, but they haven't mentioned it when we met them once.
But it does make me nervous. If you look at the Lyme disease map and you see like where all the confirmed cases are, it's like very heavily.
Maybe
that
not
area.
Lancaster, though. Maybe
there's
that's
just a
like one of those
a
bubble
hedge of protection
it's got a
around
hedge of
Lancaster.
the hedge of protection.
But we're going.
But ticks live in the hedges, so
don't cross.
yeah,
Don't cross the hedge.
don't go either. Yeah,
This is not Brambly Hedge.
yes. All right, so all the information is in the description down below. All you have to do is scroll down just a little bit of a thumb scroll. I'll put it at the top.
Okay.
So if you want to do it, we actually have a code. Visit the link, code Really Very Crunchy. You get 15% off tickets. We are speaking both days. You only have to get tickets for one day.
Yeah, it's the same 2 days in a row, so you don't want to get tickets.
When you get
2 days
tickets,
in a
you
row.
get tickets for one of the days.
Right.
So just pick which day you like.
Do they have the online option this year?
There isn't. Yeah. Oh, this year I believe so.
Yeah. So if you can't make it out to Pennsylvania, but you
give
still
them that
want to watch
option. Don't give them that option. Come out and meet us. We're going to be there all day or
Yeah.
most of the day. I might not. I might sleep in. We don't speak till like 2:30.
I'll be there all day. I get so excited for those kinds of things. So there's no sleeping in for me. Okay. They have beautiful, the aesthetic alone is
pretty great.
totally worth
The
it.
food's good,
It
too.
feels like it's just so intentional and beautiful. The flowers, oh my word. I'm pretty sure Clarita grows most of the dahlias that are
wow.
used in all of the installments. I mean, floral installments happen.
Pretty great.
It's one of the most beautiful events I've ever been to.
I'm honestly just looking forward to
The
staying
lunch.
at their Airbnb.
They had a nice Airbnb for us. The lunch is delicious. They have like smoothie bowls too, and they have
a coffee truck.
the coffee trucks.
Mm.
It's
And you get little vouchers for
yeah,
like,
you get
different
those things.
Yeah,
That's part of the ticket price.
Yeah.
Which definitely seems worth it. I'm going to a less beautiful event earlier that month or the month before.
Well, don't say that.
Well, it's true. The event is not as beautiful. It doesn't come with any vouchers, and the price is the same,
Oh,
or maybe even more.
guess we're not advertising that one.
It's
for the lesser event that we're going to.
I'm not speaking at that event.
Oh, I thought you meant the one you were speaking at.
No.
I was like, what are
no,
you saying?
that one is also super beautiful. Oh, I forgot about that one. That one's really cool too.
Is that
Cultivate
the same
Homestead
month
retreat.
or after?
That's after Pennsylvania. So if you can't make it to
How soon?
Pennsylvania, 1 week later,
Is it
I'll
1
be
week?
in Missouri.
That's
And that-
misery.
No.
1 week, a week between speeches.
It's great.
Do you get to reuse either one of the speeches?
No, we're speaking together, and then
Can I come? I'll, you speak.
it's a women's only. Both of them are women's only. The one in Missouri though is so beautiful and intentional. It's a different vibe though. The one in Lancaster is more for the person who wants comforts of like it's indoors.
They massage your feet while you listen.
regulated.
There's
No.
like 400 people there, and you get a personal masseuse.
Jason's making that up.
I mean, it's what it feels
But
like.
the one in Missouri, you camp. So if you're not into outdoor camping, probably not for you, but you do learn a bunch of like slow living. Like last year I made a tiny hand woven basket, and then we did some like natural dyeing, and then
arrow shooting.
Bow hunting, archery.
You don't like my terminology. I said, hey, it's sun shining outside. And you're like, I don't even know what you mean. I think you could just take what I mean, and you know what I mean.
I'm usually the one talking like that. So
it's
what's
sun
wrong?
shining. Let's go bow archerying with our arrows.
But both events are incredible. Both events are totally worth it. Come to both.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you want.
I won't be at the second one.
No.
Unfortunately.
So if you're a fan of Jason.
Yeah, if you want to hang out with me, you can come and watch me rally my children most of the day.
Rally them?
Yep. Where are you, boys? Boys, get over here. It's lunchtime. Boys, come get a fruit bowl. Boys,
Is that
come
rallying?
drink some coffee. Rallying them together?
Rallying is like, we're going to do this. Come on.
Yeah, boys, we're like, going to eat lunch. Come on.
Wrestling.
Wrestling? Where this isn't Georgia. You want to wrestle?
Or I just don't think rallying is the right.
Corralling.
Corralling.
There we go.
Okay.
Sun shining, the arrowing while rallying together. I would also like to say we have quite a few things in the description. Wow, so many of you were interested in our watercolor course when we mentioned it last week. Okay, I don't think people realize that I actually uploaded the course.
Oh, yeah.
Onto our website.
We actually did get several messages and comments like totally interested in that.
Just scroll down, it's right there.
So,
there are 4 lessons free. You go down to the link, click on our course, you get 3 lessons for free.
Not lessons, sections of the course.
Okay, the first 4 sections of the course are free for you to read or watch
And see if you want to continue.
Just to see if you like it. Mm-hmm. And if you want to continue, you get the option to buy it for $20.
The first ones aren't very information heavy. It's not like showing you how to do the botanical illustrations.
It's just kind of giving you what the vibe of the whole thing's going to be. Yeah. The whole thing takes right around 2 hours to complete.
Great gift. Great for homeschoolers. Great for anyone who's a beginner watercolorist. It's not really for advanced. It's definitely a beginner course. And I feel like it has changed how I can draw, how I view a specimen and can sketch it. And I'm really excited this year. I'm going to start doing nature journaling with my kids. I've been going through all my homeschool stuff and figuring out what we're going to do in the coming school year, even though we kind of school year round, but I still try to follow like a beginning in August, fresh. So we are going to introduce more wildlife and wildlife journaling, nature journaling, art. Yeah, I think that's a really big part of the Charlotte Mason method of homeschooling, and
what does she
have
know?
Not been doing that. So
she didn't even have kids.
I told you that one time, and you like lean on that. You're like, but Charlotte Mason didn't even have her own children. So.
She doesn't know the struggles of life. I don't know.
I mean, I definitely feel that sometimes. Like, well, it's different to homeschool those children because you're more than a teacher.
You said those children.
Yeah,
our children?
Our children. It's different to homeschool children than it is to be their epic, amazing teacher with an epic, amazing philosophy of education.
Because you also have to be their epic, amazing mom and their epic, amazing
cook.
Yeah.
And their epic, amazing
Wow, the standard is higher for a homeschool parent because you also have to be a great teacher.
Yeah.
Which isn't added to. I just never looked at it in this light. This isn't a homeschool episode, but here we are.
I mean, I think it is evident in our life that we are passionate about homeschooling. And so that's just a big part of our life. And if you're not, or if you have an option to send your kids to a school where they have an epic, amazing teacher, maybe they're better for it than my kids are, because I'm probably just kind of mediocre. I broke a pencil yesterday.
Wait, out of anger?
In frustration, but I didn't let my child see it.
You went to the bathroom and went...
No, I was sitting there and I was like, I just broke it right there. But
did you throw it in your wrinkle?
No.
Doesn't compost pencils, huh?
Well, I don't know. It might, but it's not. I don't know what's in that paint. I want my compost to be all organic.
Gotcha.
So I'm very particular about my wrinkle usage.
Not wrinkle as in the one I have after, sleeping on my bed, and I have this long wrinkle. That's not the wrinkle I'm talking about.
I've been trying to get you to put some wrinkle tape on that.
Your homemade wrinkle tape?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, we're talking about Wrinkle, the countertop composter.
We have been having so much fun with it. Our kids.
It's really cool.
Look forward to putting the kitchen scraps into the composter and then seeing it turn to dirt. And I've started adding it to my house plants. And one of my trees, I got it on clearance. It was... You know how clearance trees are. Well, I have been adding compost to it, and I just added it once. I added compost to it and then gave it a good water, and that tree has been sitting there for 6 months, not really doing anything. And now there are like new little buds, new leaves.
I didn't actually know this.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah. Look at it when you go downstairs.
Wow.
It's growing, and it's probably like, thank you for feeding me delicious. Just by putting our,
extra scraps of food in the wrinkle?
Yeah. Who knew? That's what plants want.
Wow. Who knew? Why don't you tell us a little bit more about Wrinkle?
Wrinkle's the ultimate zero waste kitchen upgrade. It's called REENCLE. Wrinkle is a sleek little countertop composter that turns your food waste, including meat and dairy, into nutrient-rich compost in just 24 hours. No odor, no mess, no what is that smell coming from the trash can. It uses advanced microbes, a triple-layered deodorizing filter, and it's whisper quiet, like 28 decibels quiet. That's quieter than when the kids finally fall asleep at bedtime. It breaks down up to 90% of your food scraps, fits easily on your counter, and takes all the hassle out of composting. And the finished compost? Perfect for your garden, houseplants, or anywhere you want to cut down on waste. So if you're ready for a cleaner kitchen and a greener planet, go to wrinkle.co and use code CRUNCHY for an exclusive 10% off on top of any other deals they're running. That's REENCLE.co. Reduce, reuse, regrow, Wrinkle. No, yeah, I broke a pencil. And then later he noticed it and he was like... why'd you break that pencil, Mom? So he didn't know that I was breaking it in frustration, but I was. The joy
I'm just
was gone.
I get too excited and just start.
But then I did apologize for being frustrated because it's obviously clear in your tone and level of patience, and I don't think he was feeling that. But then I had a moment of connection and repair. I don't know. Anyway, it brought tears to his eyes to hear me.
Look at you. You're a super mom and a super teacher.
No, not a super teacher.
And a super
but able
cook.
to apologize and be slightly.
I've never had a teacher apologize to me. And I felt like I've deserved one or two apologies. One or two. Not everything I did was me.
There was a Spanish situation.
Yeah, she didn't apologize.
Can we hear it?
Okay. Listen, it's my senior year of high school, and I never took a second Spanish class in Kentucky. I guess you had to take foreign language 1 and 2, and I never got around to the second one. So it's my senior year. I got to take Spanish 2 because I had taken Spanish 1 my freshman year, I think. I was not a good student. Never have been a good student. Never, ever.
That's why I have a hard time being a teacher.
Well,
because my
stop
children
trying
are
to
your
teach
children.
me. Stop trying to homeschool me.
I'm talking about our kids.
Yeah, I know. I was never a good student. I never felt like I learned in the way that was meant to be taught in a school in that setting. But I also was awful in homeschool. I homeschooled for like a year and a half and didn't go well. I'm just not supposed to learn, apparently. So I understand that I was a frustrating kid.
Hold on. You're great at learning, though. It's really just workbooks. You don't want to do any kind of menial task.
I'm great at teaching myself or seeking information. Like, basically, if I had YouTube when I was a kid, which I'm not advocating for YouTube for children all the time. I'm just saying if I had it, and like that was learn math, I could have done it.
Yeah, on YouTube?
You could go on YouTube right now and say,
teach me
calculus.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, I'm sure you could do that, but I don't know that that's the way.
Oh, I'm not saying I would ever go teach me calculus.
You want to learn what you're interested in.
It's how I learned videography.
Yeah.
I didn't, and then going and doing it, it's a very hands-on thing.
Okay, anyway, Spanish teacher.
Of course, if I looked up how to learn Spanish on YouTube, I would never learn it because that's not how I guess. So yeah, you're right. Anyway, I do love to learn. I love to read anything I'm interested in. I can learn it really well. Never been interested in anything they've ever taught at school ever. Ever. Okay, so all that said, I understand that I was not a particularly good student, and I was not enjoyable to be around, and in fact probably just annoying because I would goof off and everything else. However, this teacher, she would give out good grades to students she liked and bad grades to students she didn't like. And listen, Spanish is pretty objective on whether you're getting it right or wrong. Mm-hmm. And I would get graded much more harshly than any of the other students because she really didn't like me. I'm in there with like 10th graders. Again, I should have taken Spanish 2 years before. I just never did. Mm-hmm. She loved all her little 10th graders, but I was this like, jaded senior ready to graduate, not wanting to listen to her stinking Spanish class. And she wasn't a very good teacher. I'm sorry. I wasn't a good student and she wasn't a good teacher. Anyway, she was failing me, but not really fairly, because any of the mistakes that I made, the same mistakes were made by the other students, and I got judged more harshly. And it happened in like just all kinds of assignments, and it became very obvious that that's what was happening in a way that I had proof on paper. It's like, look at this. This is not fair.
Right.
How I'm being graded. And I took it to the principal. I'm like, listen, if I fail Spanish, I don't graduate. And you have to deal with me in the summer. That was the key. It's like, we don't want this kid coming to summer school. You're passing him. And so, I don't want to say it was my fault, but I'm sure it didn't help. She did end up getting fired. I should say she was not asked back the next year. And I'm sure I didn't help things, but I think I may have revealed a pattern that she had with other students and this subjective grading in, again, Spanish, and not really not a great teacher. I feel bad about that. I think about it often. I wonder what she's doing these days. Probably being a bad teacher somewhere else. I retired from being a bad teacher. I have a bad pension. I don't know. Anyway, not much to that story other than...
I thought there was something like your parents had to come in.
Oh, yeah. My mom was in on that. She was, not like my son's the best. She's like, no, I know he's awful. I get it. I get that he's like struggling in every class. But this is obviously not. Listen,
did you barely pass high school?
I barely passed high school. I barely passed college. I barely passed anything that's ever had a test. Except personality tests. I do have a personality. Apparently. Can't fail those. Yeah. So, it's not me. I think I'm intelligent. I think. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Jason was trying to help our
It did say sun shining outside today.
Put together a Lego set that said for 9-year-olds. Okay. And our 7-year-old was doing a pretty good job, but it's a Star Wars Lego set. And there are all these little tubes for this ship. I don't know. It was getting a little confusing.
It's an X-Wing.
So he was asking Jason for a little guidance, and Jason had to walk away. He couldn't figure it out.
No, it's not that I couldn't figure it out. It's that the pieces. Yeah, I can't figure it out. There's this one section that just makes no sense. It's like not quite clear to me. It feels like a worksheet.
You look at the picture and then you put it exactly where the picture. Make sure it's facing the right direction.
Here's the other thing. I'm not sure about my intelligence. And I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Every time I ever have to put together a piece of furniture, like I'll occasionally buy a cheap piece of furniture that lasts like a year in the office. Yeah, I know. But it's like, I just need this little stand or this table over here, whatever, or something I put together for the kids, or a storage thing, whatever.
The Berg bike.
Yeah. It never fails. There's something in my brain. I do something backwards every single time.
Is that a
something? Maybe hopefully I'm
dyslexia.
I hope I am, because it would explain a few things.
Like, I wonder if you see a picture and
is that also why I'm a slow
backwards.
Reader?
Maybe. Jason reads as if he's reading it out loud. I learned that.
Yeah, I think we talked about it. And then we talked about you listening on... Somebody commented today on one of our podcast episodes that they listened to our podcast at 1.5 speed.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know if we talked about how you read in your head as if you're speaking it.
Well,
maybe. Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay. I do. And so maybe I am dyslexic. I don't know how you... I know you can test for that, but...
it's like a psychological thing. There's not just like an online test. You have to be evaluated.
I didn't say there's an online test. I'm saying there is you can be tested for that. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's not a cut and dry.
Well, whatever is going on up there, it's not so severe that I can't just like get through a book or.
People apparently think I have ADHD. Severe.
I know people are saying that because in the last episode we talked
Someone
about
said my left brain and right brain don't connect. They think independently.
They work independently.
And
does that give you a different personality?
I'm like, what?
There were a lot of theories as to what's wrong with your hearing. You remember, I think it was the last episode where we talked about you can't. Well, I'm just reminding you can't hear when a lot of noises are going on. You can't pinpoint a location of like. You can't focus on a conversation, whatever. There are a lot of theories out there about what is going on in your brain.
Thank you for your medical input.
Of diagnoses.
I like it. I like it.
But they're all competing. First it was ADHD, and now people are saying that half of your brain doesn't turn on.
Connect. So. It's like I had a lobotomy.
Well, your right brain doesn't actually turn on. It's just dormant. What? Well, you're not hearing
I can't hear you.
I don't understand.
I appreciate all the theories. And they don't even think about like the influence of my childhood or type of childhood or like that probably has something to do with
your 90s childhood.
My listening and ability to hear.
Yeah. Ow. Like what? Did you play with a lot of fireworks?
Every kid in every movie was so disrespectful that maybe it's just a conditioning.
What are you talking about?
My inability to hear and listen.
Because kids were disrespectful? Do you know how old you sound right now? Those disrespectful kids. You're the reason I can't hear anything.
I was trying to tie it into
what in the world?
What we're talking about today.
This is what we're talking about today. I don't know. Explain the 90s kid trend that's going on.
So I've seen on several content creators' pages.
Probably just two.
No.
So it's probably not even a trend.
It is a trend. I've seen it over and over and over. Like, I want to give my kids a 90s. It's so rude.
How many over and over and over did you see?
Okay, if I watch 5 reels a day, in 5 days, that's 25 reels. So.
Yeah, okay, I hear you.
You know.
Yeah. And so, like, 90% of those were 90s kids reels.
So, yeah, it's just people want to give their kids this 90s childhood, which I understand, sort of. I understand the, like, playing outside, eating s'mores, having a bonfire.
I mean, we do that now.
Camping. Yeah, like, that's what I don't really understand. Really, what I think it boils down to is people are craving less screens for their kids. But I watched tons of movies as a kid, tons of TV. The thing is, TVs weren't, there were tube TVs, so the light was different even. It wasn't as harmful because now kids are watching LED screens, and so it's emitting a lot more blue light, and it's affecting your neurotransmitters and...
Yeah, the TVs back then just gave off radiation. So it's a little, you know...
Yeah, but your mom always said don't sit too close.
Yeah, that's why. Because it's zapping your liver or something.
Did they give off radiation?
I don't know.
Oh, you're just...
Probably.
You're just making stuff up now?
Sounds about right.
I never heard that at all. So I've heard
or they
microwaves.
Have mercury in them or something. Like, don't break the TV tube.
But
mercury.
You're not touching it.
Okay, here's a 90s childhood thing for you. You want to give your kids a 90s childhood? Go get a thermometer from the local store, break it, and roll it around in your palm for 20 minutes. That's what we did. Don't do that.
I think that I think people just crave simplicity, and I think the reason I'm so like psh, is because the 90s were also just so full of like so many chemicals and snack food, and even like the crunchy quote unquote parents were giving their kids like Nature Valley granola bars, which whatever, if you buy those, fine, but it's greenwashed. Yeah. And the 90s were like the epitome of greenwashing.
And the first ingredient's like corn syrup or something.
Well, that, you know, that famous commercial where they're like, I give my kid corn syrup, of course. It's natural. It's made from corn.
Right.
And to my family, corn was a very healthy vegetable.
I do love corn on the cob.
Corn is where it's at. I mean, I love it, but it's not exactly the healthiest.
Sure.
Superfood.
Try corn. It's a superfood.
But the 90s would have you believe that, you know, they just, it's just marketing and people, I think people were generally more trustworthy because nobody's like able to put out there questioning the system. You know, like you just saw stuff about being low fat and you accept that as, this is healthy. There wasn't this interconnectedness where you could easily share information and see that other people were questioning, maybe that's not. And obviously people on the West Coast probably were a little healthier, crunchier, whatever. It seems like I see a lot of comments like, well, we didn't watch TV when I was a kid in the 90s. Well, you weren't raised in the Midwest.
I would say most people. That's fine. I'm glad that you had that experience. I'm glad you had that experience. That's great. Most of us were watching Saturday morning cartoons, you know, movies all the time, pretty much whenever we wanted. And
yeah, I don't think I asked to turn on the TV.
Never.
Like
I never asked to turn on the TV. I never asked to play video games. I never asked to do anything like I just did it. Well, no, kids don't have to ask to get their iPad today.
They don't?
No, they just have their iPad and they're on it. So I think, you know, we want a 90s childhood. It's like basically like what you're saying. Basically, we want a pre-social media, pre-phone, pre-iPad
pre-device
life. Pre-device life.
Yeah.
And
I think that's a great thing to strive for because that is what we're striving for.
However,
but I'm just not labeling it that.
It strikes a funny chord to me because my 90s childhood mine was weird, apparently. See, I hear that, and I'm like, yeah, let's get our kids a VCR and tape all our movies. So,
I actually am interested. We have a VCR, Jason.
We do not have a VCR.
Don't we have a VCR?
We do not have a VCR. Do you remember what a VCR is?
Yeah, we don't.
We don't have VHS
cabinet.
tapes.
I thought that I found one.
Have you been using it lately?
No, because I don't have any VHS tapes.
We don't have a VCR unless you stored it in the
basement.
Yeah, basement or something.
Hmm.
We do not.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm interested in getting an old TV and VCR.
I'm not. Well, you're not gonna. Yeah, no. If you want to watch anything modern, you're not even going to be able to do it. How am I going to watch my Lord of the Rings DVDs on an old TV in widescreen?
You got rid of those.
Yeah, and I bought them on Apple. 4K extended edition. How am I going to access that on a tube TV? I won't.
Yeah.
And I'll probably have to buy a box to make it compatible that emits so many EMFs our neighbors will feel it.
I do want my kids. So many people, we released a video today that was kind of this theme. Well,
today
by the time
being
you're reading this, Monday.
Yeah.
And I love that people are like, you mean 1890s is what you want. It's like, yeah, kind of.
Except for the disease, child labor,
disease
and the threat of death everywhere.
Yeah, except for that. But, yeah, just playing outside, playing in the creek, playing in the woods, and carefree.
Yeah. If we gave our kids an authentic Morrow 90s childhood. Or Simpson 90s childhood. I don't know. It's unfettered access to TV and video games and all the snacks you want.
Drank a whole pitcher of Kool-Aid a day. The blue Kool-Aid was our favorite.
Whole pitcher a day?
Yeah. Whole pitcher.
Our kids drink a lot of water.
Yep.
It's interesting. I wonder how they're going to feel as adults compared to how we feel as adults. I feel fine, but what could I feel like? I also have polycystic kidney disease, and I wasn't breastfed.
If you wouldn't have been drinking that red Kool-Aid, you probably wouldn't have cysts all over your kidneys.
That's a lie.
Well, you're the one telling me that sugar feeds it.
That's true. If my parents would have put me on keto when I was 4, don't do that either. It's not good. You don't need to do that. They need a balanced diet. 4-year-olds do. But balance is not a gallon of Kool-Aid every day.
No, but I mean, like I've said before, my parents tried their best, and
yeah, my parents tried their best, but sometimes the best is not what was needed. But that's true for us too. We try our best. You don't think I try my best?
Do you try your best, Jason?
I do.
You do?
Is it sad if I say yes?
I can see the days that you try your best and the days that you don't. It's really evident. You and I are so different.
I can't try my best at everything all at once. I have to focus my best.
Well,
some days it's parenting. Some days it's really very crunchy. Some days it's podcasting. Like today, it's obviously podcasting.
I think that the parenting should be an everyday trend. Try that.
It's exhausting. I can't be the best dad. So much work.
Think about someone who buys a mug that says "World's Greatest Dad."
I want it to be true, but it's not.
And then that guy drinks out of that mug, truly believing, "I am the world's greatest
Think
dad."
about having a spouse who says, if you got a world's best dad mug, would you feel like it was true? Deep down, would it really be true, Jason?
I'm thinking about myself too. Like this Mother's Day, I was like,
"Dad" was the word used, but go ahead.
Yeah, but this Mother's Day, I'm thinking like, don't even acknowledge me.
Oh,
I haven't been.
You're the best
the mother
mom.
I could be.
Well,
I could be Charlotte Mason.
Now that is subjective. She didn't have kids. Don't give me that. That is subjective grading. Maybe you are doing your best.
Hold on, Rude.
You broke the pencil under the table, not in front of his face.
It's true,
There's a
but
difference.
our 5-year-old said to Jason yesterday.
This hurt.
He said, I've been keeping a secret. But I'm gonna tell you. Or
yeah.
I don't really know how it came out. I was in the other room, but I could hear everything. I don't want you to be mad. I don't want you to be mad, but I didn't love you until 6 months ago. I didn't love you until 6 months ago. And he's like, I've been keeping it to myself.
You know what I responded? I said, I still don't love you. Get out of here.
What did you say? I didn't really hear.
I said, like, oh, that's okay. Well, then his older brother said, you should feel shame for that to him. And I said, no, he's allowed to feel however he feels. And however hurtful it may be.
I didn't love you until about 6 months ago.
I think he's joking. Because sometimes he'll joke like that.
No, I don't think he was joking. That sounded like he was being totally genuine. But I think he probably...
That. Thanks for having me back.
No, I think...
No, he definitely wasn't joking.
No, I think
you're a jerk.
No, I don't think it was that. I think he probably...
felt an overwhelming love for me that he's never felt before.
Either that or...
he wasn't that? Okay.
No, I was thinking that he was more of a mama's boy. You know, like he felt a preference towards me versus you. And now, within the last 6 months, he feels more like either parent is okay for whatever. Yeah. And like, you know, you guys have started playing catch a lot more. Such a 90s thing to do.
I have a feeling, I'm just going to go out on a limb here, that he did love me before 6 months ago.
I think he did.
I think he's just expressing something else.
Yeah.
He doesn't know
that's
how to
what
say.
I'm saying. Like his...
That's my hope. Anyway.
Emotions toward you have somehow shifted, or maybe, he's just like seeing you in a new light. And maybe his relationship with you has gotten deeper in a way. You know?
Yeah. Well, he's such an insightful kid.
He is. He's a
very deep thinker, and that's what scares me. Because what if he's right? What if it's true?
Well, at least he loves you now.
Wow. I stayed up with that kid every night. I'd get up at like 3 or 4 a.m. and rock him till about 7, till I had to go to work. And he didn't love me till 6 months ago. See if you get a good birthday at 6. I'll show you how much I love you then. Here's a dish towel. Have fun.
Don't you want him to continue to love you? And
I'm
why
bitter.
are you trying to make your love performance-based? Or
okay, don't analyze me. I was joking.
Were you checking to see?
Checking, making sure he's not listening. I love you. Alder, if you're ever watching this, well, I really want to get our kids in on this trend, so I bought a couple of Talkboy tape recorders.
We actually do have one.
We do have, well, it's not a Talkboy tape recorder, which would be really cool. I bet you have a lot of money that it's a lot of money right now for a genuine one.
Ours is good enough.
Yeah,
it's better than anything I ever had.
It's a tape recorder.
Yeah.
Like a little Walkman type of...
Walkman.
Yeah.
Not Talkman.
Talkboy tape recorder from Home Alone 2.
Okay.
You know, his little device that... And he can slow it down. And
you wanted one of those?
Yeah, I never got one. They made a Talk Girl, too. I think it was kind of pink or something. I bet if you looked it up on eBay, they would go for like $500.
Should I look it up right now?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's see. No, it was probably one of the coolest toys known to man. When Home Alone 2 came out, which was like, 92? Everybody wanted one. And the kids who actually had one were like the coolest kids ever. They were basically Kevin McAllister.
They're going for like $47.
What?
Yeah, we could get one, no problem.
Wait, how used though?
This looks untested. It says. What does that mean? Okay, and then there's one that's like with cassette works, $80.
What about sealed box?
Well,
never opened.
The Talk Girl is purple.
Purple. Okay.
Never opened?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
That's going to go for $600.
Well, that's dumb.
No, that's how things happen from the 90s.
It doesn't exist.
Oh, it exists somewhere.
It's not on eBay currently.
I mean, you realize like the first iPhone unboxed is like thousands upon thousands of dollars.
You can get a Talkboy. Why?
It's a relic. If it's sealed and never been opened, I'm pretty sure it's like
an iPhone.
Like the first one, I'm pretty sure it's like 10 grand or something like that.
That's weird. Okay, but we could have a Talkboy in our hands for $30.
Yeah, well, it might not work.
No, I think it would.
It's 30. Gosh, it's almost 40 years old.
The thing about that kind of stuff is it was made mechanically to continue to work.
It's made in China like every other electronic.
But you just had to smack it and get everything back in line, and that's how those things work.
I read this thing where, in actuality, you know how you had to blow into a cartridge on a Nintendo to try to get it to work? They said that actually did way more damage to your games than than if you didn't do it.
What are you supposed to do then?
Well, the problem was inside. It was some sort of faulty thing inside the actual Nintendo itself, not the cartridge.
But blowing in it somehow fixed it?
Well, taking it out and putting it back in, apparently. I don't know. I remember with our Nintendo, we would literally have to slap the side of it. We would have to kick it, basically.
And then it would work.
It would work, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I feel like that kind of stuff was just made to work.
Well,
and when it didn't work, you just hit it.
And if you accidentally hit it in the middle of a game or something, it would also freeze. And
yeah.
Did you ever play? You had a Nintendo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever like put it on pause because you had to like go to school or something and then come back and play it 8 hours later?
I mostly did that with my Super Nintendo.
You had a Sega, didn't you?
I had a Sega.
You had a Super Nintendo?
My friend got a Nintendo 64 and got rid of his Super Nintendo and gave it to me for free.
That's nuts. That was because eBay didn't exist yet.
With all the games.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Wow. That's pretty cool. I had a Nintendo and didn't have anything until the first PlayStation in 1996. Those are good days. And that's
so now we're hopping on the 90s childhood trend. We're going to go get a Nintendo.
No, I don't want to give it to our kids. I just want to relive it.
Yeah, we just want to relive
We
the 90s.
should relive it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give our kids a 2025 childhood. But
yeah, hand them an iPad. We're going to go play Nintendo.
No, let's just keep it how we're doing it. It's still today though. Like that's what's weird that's what I'm saying. You can transform your life, and what is like you can still have that reality. You don't have to be looking back. We can look forward to a more intentional and thoughtful way of parenting that doesn't involve heavy reliance on devices.
I think the problem is and it's great. We should raise our kids in that world, the world of nature, the world of getting out and, being away from devices. But the problem is that most of their peers aren't living that way and never will. And so and what you're talking about, what people are longing for is a culture that was that way.
Yeah, a cultural shift.
Versus like a full cultural shift that it's not going to happen. I mean, it can happen in small communities, and it does happen. You've done that. Basically, you have a whole community of people who essentially live that way.
Yeah.
Which is great.
I mean, there are people within the group who do some
Everybody
things.
has their
everybody has their things.
Degree of...
But then, like, when we're together, though, we're all aligned that our kids aren't going to be pulling out phones or, like we're going to savor this moment in nature together. Mm-hmm. And I think even parents who do have a heavier reliance on technology or have like intentionally chosen that as a form of education, that's great for them if that's working for their family.
Yeah.
But they still believe in like slower living and being intentional about your choices instead of just passive and reactive. So like, I think that goes a long way.
Screens for their education. Let's not forget my second grade year in the trailer.
It can
watching
work.
VHS tapes.
I believe that there are really great apps out there. I don't think my children are able to.
Oh, I wasn't coming at you. I was talking about my 90s childhood and how I had a screen-filled education.
Yeah.
Not that I learned anything.
But you were on a screen.
I can picture my teacher right now. I don't know her name.
The videotape teacher?
Yeah, I could see her in my head. I don't know her name because we didn't have a relationship.
Do you think that was your first parasocial relationship?
I didn't feel anything towards that woman.
You didn't?
I dreaded seeing her because...
Was she ever funny or...
No, but she did get on to kids sometimes, though. It was so funny. Like, she had a classroom of kids.
Oh.
And they filmed her, and she would talk to the camera.
She was a real teacher.
Yeah, but she had
Not an actress.
Correct. I mean... It might look a little Dharma Initiative if you're like looking back at it, because it was terrible quality. I can see it now, but like there was times where she must have been a really hard teacher, because she would look at the kids in the class. She'd be like, "Stop," and then turn back to the camera and like, "Now we're gonna learn phonics." And then it's like, nobody edited that video. And whoever that kid was, he felt this big in the middle of that class. And
how did you make your eyes go that wide? That is so creepy, Jason. Am I doing it?
Stop. I don't know, something to do with the cones. I can receive more light. My aperture just...
No, your eyeballs are like bugging out a little. Scary.
She was scary.
Do you look at our children that way?
Maybe that's why Alder didn't love me till 6 months ago. I haven't given him the look. Stop.
Can my eyes even go that wide?
No. I mean, they're wide, but they don't look intimidating at all. You just look like you're about to cry. Or break a pencil.
Oh. It was one of those golf pencils, just in case that changes things. A little break. It's like
the little ones are harder to do. That's crazy.
Oh.
You need more. If you have the other one, you have leverage and can just break it easily.
If you're looking for golf pencils, those are my favorite for homeschool. They're so fun to write with. And
okay.
Our son was having a Boxcar Children's birthday, and I did like a mystery theme, and I gave out little notebooks with pencils. So I ordered all these golf pencils, and then we used them for like the rest of the year, and I have loved them. So, yeah.
Cool story, bro.
You are so rude. Can I just say, though, one thing about the 90s childhood? People who got Schwann's.
I always saw the Schwann's truck.
Yeah, we never got Schwann's. I didn't know what that was all about. I think it was really expensive, high quality food.
I always thought it was an ice cream truck.
I thought that, but it only stopped at certain people's houses, and it was never my house.
The rich kids' houses.
Yeah,
I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was expensive.
Was it good? You wouldn't know.
Parents, I wouldn't know, but parents really used it. Liked it.
Parents really use lean cuisine. That doesn't mean it's good.
I loved lean cuisine. I mean, I thought it was the epitome of culinary experience.
That's really sad.
In middle school.
I mean,
only 230 calories.
Okay. I didn't even know what a calorie was until like high school. Yeah. Because nobody.
A guy in a girl's life is very different.
Yeah.
Very.
Oh, interesting. We're going to bring smoking back into restaurants. Well, I would like the non-smoking section, please. Sorry, we're full. Are you willing to sit at the bar? It's smoking. Yeah. It's like a non-smoking section keeps smoke from wafting over into your food. Like, there's no wall.
Yeah.
It's just a different section. We're breathing the same air.
Yeah.
It's like, I still can't taste my fried chicken, Martha. Thanks. Anyway.
Yeah, so let's not go back to the 90s. Let's look forward to a new generation of people who are interested in living.
He just trailed off. Yeah. Yeah, you're so tired.
It's sun shining right now.
Sun shining right now. Let's go arrowing.
It really felt like I had something good to say, and then it was just like...
You feel nervous about flying this Wednesday?
I do. I really didn't
Thursday.
sleep. I did not sleep last night. First, my children were in swim lessons all week last week. And so since then, all I've been doing is having nightmares of drowning. And so last night, I was just like having these recurring drowning nightmares. Like, which doesn't make sense because now they're stronger swimmers.
Yeah.
Because of the swim classes. But now I feel like they have more confidence, so they're more likely to drown.
How'd they do today?
Alder wasn't really into it. He doesn't have as much confidence, but Oaks is so confident that it's like,
Stop it, kid.
He's like playing under floaties and things, and it's like that feels risky.
Yeah.
So definitely have nightmares about that. So I was like having these nightmares and trying to get myself out of the thoughts of that, and my mind obviously drifts to, oh, you're going to be flying this week, you're probably going to die. So then I'm just having nightmares about plane crashes, and then I'm like, okay, Emily, don't be absurd.
Right.
Get over it. So then I start thinking about the sleeper cells of the
Iran.
Yeah. Waking and destroying us all.
Yeah, they're definitely hanging out in Nashville, Tennessee.
Wasn't there a massive one discovered in Bowling Green a few years ago or something?
Not from Iran.
Are you sure?
No.
I think it was. So I'm like, okay, they're in Bowling Green.
Okay.
So
maybe they like Corvettes. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I just got past
9/11
yeah,
fears.
like I'm just beyond it. And now
just over your 9/11 fears. Wow.
So
well, this isn't quite 9/11, I don't think. I mean, it's obviously not a great situation that's going on over there, but I don't know what this is exactly. But it's not 9/11. It's a different situation.
I don't believe that we need to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. So I don't want to be in the loop about everything. And we've talked about this before. And I don't know if is mental health a privilege, or is that like just a normal thing to ask for?
I mean, I think it's something that everyone should strive for, mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good.
So for me, I just like can't know everything.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Then that email slips in from like that Washington Post you never signed up for. Like,
yeah.
Iran's nuking Nashville.
What?
We speculate. Opinion article. It's like, thanks. How did this get into my email? I never signed up.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
You saw the notification on my phone.
I saw it on your phone. It's like, I know she didn't sign up for the Washington Post. Why is it sending her messages about Iran?
Yeah.
Iran, whatever.
We say Iran in Kentucky.
Iran so far away. If you're afraid of flying or not afraid of flying, and if you were born in the 90s, leave a review. Reviews.
What if everyone has reviewed it, Jason?
They haven't, because I know how many people listen to this show, and we don't have that many reviews.
So some of you guys are slacking.
Some of you are holding out.
What is going on?
It's
I mean, how
that
many
crazy.
times does Jason have to ask?
Yeah, I mean, every single one of you is either afraid or not afraid.
Until the numbers line up with the listenership.
Well, the problem is we're growing, Emily.
Be a thing.
We're growing. So
he's going to keep on asking.
There's quite a few thousand of you out there who have not reviewed yet, and I'm kind of miffed about it.
But we do appreciate you, and we
Just
thank you so much for listening and for coming back week after week and showing your love and support. And
it's really great. We do really consider the podcast audience. I mean, you are our core audience. The rest of them, whatever. Podcast listeners, you're amazing.
He also said this on Instagram Live, and no, I'm just kidding.
No, that's the thing. They'll never hear it. If they don't listen to the podcast, you have to listen to the podcast to hear this kind of praise. I love you more than any other viewer of our things.
But not until about 6 months ago.
Not until about 6 months ago.
Okay.
I'm a terrible father. I'm a terrible podcast host.
We thank you, and we hope that you have a really amazing week. Thanks again for listening. Bye.